Hello guys, welcome back to Real Reds Talk, an authentic football fan channel dedicated to Manchester United. We are back, we are live, me, Sam and Aaron for bits of news today. We're going to talk about Lisandro Martinez update on his injury. We're going to discuss a little bit of transfer talk in regards to midfield, what's going on there, Gravenberch, McAllister, a couple more. We're also going to discuss a couple of quotes coming out from Erik ten Hag's press conference, and we're going to look at the fixture, pile up the next 5 games, and discuss how we see them going. So before we get into the topics on the table, make sure you smash a like on the video, subscribe to the channel, and check us out on socials as well, Instagram, TikTok, Twitter, all that good stuff. Aaron, Sam, how are you doing, lads?
Yeah, I'm good, man. The Friday feelings took over the devastation of last night anyway.
That's good then. That's some good news, I suppose, because last night was absolutely atrocious, wasn't it, Sam?
Yeah, not the greatest half of football I've had to witness. And yeah, we move because there's another game in 2 days. So
that's it. That's like any Premier League manager would say. It's on to the next one. It's on to the next one. But it still stings a little bit. I'm not going to lie. Speaking of last night's game, one player from there, a very important player to us, Lisandro Martinez, went down with a really bad injury. A lot of us suspected it could be an Achilles injury, could be, not to mention a season ender, it could be the start of a season ender as well. Like, he could be out for a long, long time. We've had a little bit of news on this today, and coming out from a South American journalist. So apparently Lisandro Martinez's injury is better than expected, and he can recover in 6 weeks. Lisandro Martinez has fractured a 5th metatarsal in his right foot. It remains to be seen if it needs to be operated on or if it's better to wait for the bone to heal on its own. And I was looking this up last night. This might surprise a few people, I'm no orthopedic surgeon. So I was looking it up last night to see how long these things usually take to heal. Now, when David Beckham did his, he did his second one, and that was 4 to 6 weeks. I think Rooney did his. He did a fourth metatarsal. But for whatever reason, the 5th one seems to take a little bit longer to heal. So we're not sure if it's going to be season end or pre-season, and then maybe we'll take it from there. Hopefully it's shorter because we're going to need him back. But I suppose it's fantastic news, Aaron, that it's not as long as we first thought, but it's still quite a big blow in it for the rest of the season.
Yeah, it's like when you read the statement and it was like, oh, not as bad as first thought. Whatever's happened, it's still bad. You know what I mean?
Yeah, of course.
But it's just, it had to be him, didn't it? Like, you look at the list, any player out there, it had to be him that's gone down. And then obviously Varane's gone down. Yeah, man, we've lost a vital part of the team, probably. You think of the first 3 names on the team sheet, first 4 or whatever. Yeah, Casemiro, Varane, De Gea. It's like,
either way.
So it's just a spine of the team. It's a depth that worries me. If Lisandro went out, like back in the day when Vidic got injured or Rio, you kind of think, oh, well, Johnny Evans could step up, or John O'Shea, Wes Brown, them guys could come in and you'd still feel confident to do a role. But it's a drop-off in quality, and that's a credit to Lisandro himself. Like, what he brings a fight. He brings something that all the other centre-backs don't have, personally, for me. Like, Varane goes about his business quiet. He's like a Rolls Royce.
Yeah.
Maguire, rather not touch on his qualities. Lindelof's like, yeah, exactly. Lindelof's he's a bit weak, but he's good on the ball. He's composed, but Varane brings that fire, that hunger. Like, Varane can make a tackle or a challenge or a block or something, and he pumps the team. You know what I mean? It's like he's more than a defender; he's a leader. And the squad, I feel, still lacks quite a lot of leaders. So it's not, you're not just losing your centre back; you're losing like the heart of the team as well.
Well, it's the tactical significance as well. Like, we talk about the left-footed centre backs. The reason why Ten Hag wanted one so much, it opens up certain passing lanes. You've got the balance from the back in terms of how you're playing out. Like, and how press resistant you can give it him in any situation you want, and it's just in a bit. See you later, mate. Drifts,
it's like having 2 quarterbacks with him and Casemiro as well. The amount of the passes that they can pick.
That's it. Yeah, absolutely. Maybe Casemiro can move into that centre back role, and then Bruno back as a 6. Who knows how they're going to go about it? Sam, do you think someone like Luke Shaw, if he can come back and if he is fit enough to start, do you think he could be a decent replacement in the meantime? We saw him do a job on Erling Haaland in the Manchester derby, didn't we? Do you think, would you be confident with him starting there?
Yeah. Shout out to Brandon, by the way. He's just become a Real Reds Ultra member. Thank you for joining the membership. You won't regret
He's a legend,
Brandon. Is he from TikTok?
Yeah. He's been a massive supporter. So
appreciate it, Brandon. So enjoy all the user ultras content that only you guys get if you join the Real Reds. And if you want to do it, if you want to join Brandon in the Real Reds Ultras, a little join button next to subscribe and a like. Hit that free. Well, not free, but exclusive content for joining the membership. Really good videos that Nick works really hard on, goes in depth. Some little bits of news tidbits not everybody else gets, but yeah, and it goes back into the channel, so we appreciate it. Thank you very much.
Yeah, absolutely.
On Shaw, yeah, he's been fantastic when he's filled in at centre back, hasn't he? He's put the sort of myth that he has holes in his game, or that he was not reliable enough, because he had those moments, didn't he, under Ollie, where he was just he'd switch off, or his concentration wouldn't be there, be positioning, be off, etc. But then when Ten Hag's asked him to be a centre back, he's been arguably the third best centre back in our team, hasn't he? He's been better than Maguire. He's been more consistent than Lindelof, so arguably he's been our best centre back. So if he is fit, it'd be good to sort of use him with Varane or maybe with Lindelof. I don't want to see Maguire in the team because I just think he has too many negatives, especially in the way we play. I'm not saying he's a shit player or a terrible player. I just don't think he fits the system we play and the players we have. I just don't think he fits. So I think I'd prefer to have a Shaw and a Lindelof, or a Shaw and a Varane, and do that. But also that depends on if Varane's out, how long he's out, is he going to come back, etc. And then you also have to contend with Malacia being at left back, because he was terrible yesterday, and he was responsible for their first goal that went in, because he just let it run across him, which is criminal as a defender. So yeah, it's worrying times. Lisandro, probably our best player this year, aside from Casemiro. I think he's been standout in a way, one of our best players. So it's going to be a big miss. Although it's not the Achilles, which is great, he is out for the rest of the season, and we've got big games coming up. We've got Forest on Sunday, we've got Brighton in the semi-final, we've got Sevilla away, the 2-2 draw, we've got Chelsea, Spurs, big games. So we are going to miss him quite badly.
Absolutely. And we've seen him tinker quite a bit, haven't we, Aaron, when we've come into situations like this, whether it has been Bruno was a 6, Casemiro was a centre-back, Licha was a centre-back. If you're the manager going into this next run of games, which we're going to touch on towards the end, the next 5 games, how do you manage this? What would you do specifically? Who would you bring in?
For me, I'd keep Casemiro in CDM. I think he's too vital, and the drop-off in quality in that position. Yeah, we're gaining another centre-back, but we're losing a CDM. It's not like someone slots in perfect. Yeah. Luke Shaw, is there any news on when he's back?
Well, he was supposed to be back for last night. Everyone was expecting him back, but he wasn't there. So we're thinking kind of Nottingham Forest on Sunday or Thursday.
Ten Hag said McTominay and Shaw should be back Sunday. Should.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then do you throw him in straight away? For me, I'd probably go with Lindelof this game. I honestly would. And then you've got the whole thing of does Malacia get dropped, because he had a stinker last night.
So that was criminal, wasn't it? That defending.
But then it's like, do you give him the benefit of the doubt? 'Cause he's been pretty solid all season. But then it's, if Malacia and Shaw doesn't play, you're looking at Dallo left back, Wan-Bissaka right back. So I don't know. I feel like the defence, I can't call how it's going to be on Sunday. For me personally, though, I'd probably go Lindelof. I'd like to give Malacia the benefit of the doubt, and probably start Wan-Bissaka, but it could go anyway. I just don't want to. I don't want to feel like I've got a thing against him, but I don't want. I'm so with Sam. I don't want Harry Maguire to start. I feel like at the minute, I don't know if it's because he's like not in the team and his confidence is low, but I feel there's like a dark clouds above him. You know what I mean? Because like last night when he came on and it started going, like I knew something was going to happen with him. It's like I just knew it.
Yeah.
It's like a calamity waiting to happen, and it's like.
No. I don't think that's his fault though. The way it goes in, it's not his fault. Like you can't.
It's not. But why does when something bad happens, he
does have this involved. Negative.
Yeah,
I know
it's
what you
like
mean.
he attracts it. Like
he's also unaware. he's unaware of like what's going on, because the way he speaks in interviews, he thinks he's doing well and he thinks he's like, so that doesn't help. Like, at least if he came out in interviews, he's like, look, I've not been playing well, I've not got in the team.
Shit today.
But I'm working hard, I'm trying to get better, etc. At least people go, all right, he's trying to do. But he comes out in interviews and just goes, yeah, I think I've been one of the best performers. There's a reason I'm captain. And you're just like, mate, come on, like, what's happening.
Do you know what he reminds me of? I don't know why this analogy is coming in my head. He reminds me of, like a 18-year-old when they get a clapped out banger and they think they've got a sick car and they're whipping it around the road and they just look shit and he thinks it looks good. That's how he thinks he looks.
Look at my Clio. Look at my Renault Clio. I've been playing every game, so I must be playing well. And you're just like, Harry, mate, Harry. Just your price tags get into your head. The armbands get into your head. You're not that guy, mate. You're not that guy. But whenever Bruno has I put the armband on during the game, he's shown a lot of times what a captain performance is all about. But yeah, look, I don't want to make it a novel about Maguire. Let's not spend too long on that. It's obviously a huge miss, but at least it's not a potential career altering injury or ending injury. That's the silver lining I want to take from this. We've got 8 people currently in the chat: Meme King, Sharinde, Brandon, all you guys who are usually in the cut, thank you for joining in. Get your comments in. How would you handle the centre-back situation? Who would you bring in for it? And do you feel positive going into the next couple of games? We're going to discuss the fixture pile-up shortly, but there was a little bit of transfer talk. There's been some names floating about on the midfield situation. So I'm going to start off on Alexis McAllister. So the first question, just a yes or no to both of you. Would you take him? And then I'll ask.
How much?
60 million.
No.
Not for 60.
Okay.
But
what's he worth? What's he worth?
40, 45.
Yeah, I'd say about 45 because his price is going to go up for being a World Cup winner. So about 45.
His dad recently came out and said he will definitely be at a new club in the summer. Romano has come out and said United have concrete interest. If this is a deal that you would do, if you could get him for the right price, how do you see him fitting in at Manchester United? Would he be a starter for us? Would he, how would it work? Because if you're getting someone for 40 million, then does he become a starter or just depth?
I think 40 million nowadays, it's not starting money, is it? Like, you don't get starting.
True.
Like, for 40 million, you're thinking squad player for 40 million. Like, if Scott McTominay's being sold for 40 million to Newcastle, that's a squad player. That's not their star signing. That's not a guy who starts every single week. He might do it at Newcastle, but do you know what I mean? That's the value you're looking at. When we spent, I think, because we got Bruno really cheap, didn't we? Considering the impact he's had and considering how good he is, we got him for cheap. Like, if he goes now, Bruno, he's what, 80 million, 85 million in today's market. So
yeah, absolutely.
Like, I think 40 million is about standard for a squad player. So I don't think he starts. I think he plays a few games. I think he does play, say, 25 games or something like that. I think he does play quite a few games. He's versatile as well. He can play in a number of different positions. Yeah. So that's what Ten Hag likes. He loves utility players who can drop into different spots and fill roles. So I think he'd be a good addition as a squad player. Is he a sparkling starting signing? Is he a De Jong type signing? Is he that kind of level? No, but we need squad depth and we need players of that caliber who can come in and do jobs and can be rotated with people like Eriksen, Bruno, Casemiro, etc. and could come in and do like last night when we need to close the game off and we've got options on the bench. We haven't got Weghorst and Elanga. No offense to both of them, I like both of them, but the quality just isn't there. When you come from Martial to Weghorst, the drop off is severe. But say you took Eriksen off for a McAllister, that's
not too much.
It's not too bad, that, and he'll get on with it and do the job. So I think that's the important thing. But if he's going to cost us 65 million, I'd walk away and go find somebody else.
Only 24 years old as well, McAllister. Still got a lot of years left in him, which is a good age profile. And I made a clip about this. I said, you look at the players that Brighton have sold. Ben White was 24 when he went to Arsenal. Cucurella, 24 when he went to Chelsea. All went for 50, 60 million. So I'm guessing you've got someone who's a World Cup winner, double figures in goal involvement, and a vital part to your system. They're going to want 60 plus million, I imagine. And that's too much for you, Aaron?
Yeah, just solely because of the other business we have to do. And for a squad player, it is a lot of money because I kind of agree with Sam. And when you mentioned it, And when I seen the links, I thought that's mainly just to bring the load off Eriksen, because he would be a very good replacement for Eriksen. I think in games where we had a lot of the ball and a lot of attacking play, you'd probably bring him to start then, next to someone like Casemiro, because he's definitely better going forward than obviously defensively. So yeah, I think it's a lot of money for someone that's just going to come in and, I don't want to say a bit part player, because he'd probably be more important than that, but for someone that's not guaranteed to be a starter in your big games, I feel like he'll be a rotation player. I probably wouldn't drop 60. If it was where it's like where City are now and they're just adding pieces where the team's pretty much picks itself, then yeah, you can drop that money. But for now, we need good signings. We need I'm going to say
improving the team on a scale.
And not even that. We need to be savvy in the market, because obviously we're going to have to spend a certain amount. We can't just be throwing money around. And yeah, I feel like we need more savvy signings. Like go and get someone from the Dutch league for like 20 million who will come in and do a job. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then bring in your big striker.
Well, speaking of Dutch savvy signings, the next target I wanted to discuss was Gravenberch. But before I do that, we've got 10 people in the chat. Make sure you smash a like on the video and subscribe to the channel. And also get your thoughts in on the midfielder situation. Brandon saying signs a bit, so he'll come for free if he had choice. I actually believe that he probably would. We're hearing a lot of good things around Spitz.
In the interview, he's saying he loves it. The league's one of the best leagues he's ever played in. He enjoys it, playing with Casemiro. He said Scott McTominay as well, but I think he was being nice. I don't think he means that. But
yeah, just to throw him in there, chipping a little bit. Yeah.
If he's costing 15, 20 million, like they're saying, I'd sign him. Sell Scott McTominay for 40 million, get him in for 20, 15, 20. You've got 20 million up on the deal, and that could go into something else.
Do you think Bayern might look at it and they might be like, oh, hang on a minute. You guys are getting 30 to 35 million for Scott McTominay, and you want us to sell you Sabitzer for 20 million pounds. Like, surely they must be looking at this, right, and thinking, yeah, we can get more than that.
Nah, I don't think they will, because I think he's pretty much done at Bayern now. It's especially Nagelsmann's gone. That was like, obviously, the Leipzig connection.
Yeah. True.
Tuchel's in there now. Don't really have a connection with a player. He's going to come in and Sabitzer's not there, so he's even thinking of him as part of his plans anyway. I don't know, man. It's like Prem players are always bumped up, aren't they?
Yeah. Prem tax is a real thing.
English tax and Prem tax, they're the two.
No one outside the Prem is paying 40 million for McTominay. No one.
No,
it's true.
So it's like, you go and get Sabitzer for 20 million, and I think that's a banging deal. Do you know what I like the most out of his quotes? The way he said, "Oh, I feel like I'm playing for Leipzig again," like that style of football, because he was class at Leipzig, like that. When he was at Leipzig, I wanted him. I saw like a few of my mates. I think when we played him, one of the games he bossed it. He was class.
I remember. And against PSG as well in the Champions League, he was really good for Leipzig.
Yeah, he was. Obviously, he played more of like a number 10, I think, but he was still like a box to box, a bit like Bruno. But I just remember against us, and I just watched him. I was thinking, wow, we need this guy.
Yeah.
And obviously, it derailed a bit at Bayern, but through no fault of his own. When you're not playing games, it's same with Donny, man. It's like when you're not playing, it's hard to come in and produce high level performances.
Yeah. Especially when the standard is Kimmich and Goretzka, right?
Exactly. So you're meant to come in and do that straight away.
Yeah.
So I don't think we've seen the best of Sabitzer yet. I think last night was a glimpse of this is what's coming. I think he's going to be vital towards the end of the season.
Also,
further up the pitch.
Bayern squad depth as well. They've just got Konrad Laimer in. They've still got, I know you're going to get onto Gravenberch. They've still got him there. So that's four top quality midfielders, and he's got to fight his way into that in a Bayern Munich team. So it's no tough ask. That
bring in other players as well.
Yeah, exactly. So it's tough.
That's it. Can we put a poll out, Sam, on YouTube? Have you got that accessible there? Yeah. Just the three players that we mentioned: Gravenberch, Sabitzer, and why is my brain gone blank? McAllister. Sorry, went completely blank. Yeah, can we put them three on? Just see get a gauge on the fans who they want, who they'd go for. I'm interested to see, because I've seen a lot of people going for McAllister, saying fantastic player, was obviously the glue to helped Lionel Messi achieve his dream, was a really important player for them, and Messi said some fantastic words about him, so it shows what kind of a player McAllister is. Sabitzer we've touched on. I think I would sign him for £20 million as squad depth. Fantastic. You talk about that's one of the best squad depth signings you can get. Unbelievable. He'd do a job at City as well, like if they signed him there.
Do you know what though? I think he's got the potential to not be just a squad player. I think he can be a starter. I honestly do. If he can recapture that form at Leipzig, honestly, imagine him, Casemiro, and Bruno.
Exactly.
That'd be crazy.
We've been saying this for a while though at United. We're discussing all the injuries that we've got at the minute and all the players who are out and then coming back in. I feel like we haven't had our fully best team start a game yet. Like I'm talking Martial up top, Anthony on the right, Rashford on the left. I'd probably say at a minute on form, Sabitzer, Bruno, Casemiro, then Luke Shaw, Lisandro, Varane, Wan-Bissaka, and De Gea. I want to see that, just all of them, and then have options off the bench where you can imagine bringing Eriksen on, Garnacho on, having these kind of options. Like,
or even if it was just roles reversed, if it was Eriksen and then bringing Sabitzer on into that team.
Yeah. Exactly. The other midfield option who we kind of skipped past, Gravenberch. Now, obviously, he's worked under Erik Ten Hag before. Ten Hag knows him very well. He's frustrated with game time at the minute, limited minutes. I suppose, obviously, in the exact same boat that Sabitzer was in, funnily enough. I don't know his price tag. I don't know what Bayern Munich are going to want for him. I don't know if they're open to selling him. Maybe Tuchel might like him. But is he someone we should be looking at, lads?
Well, the Liverpool were like, there was all these rumours, wasn't it, that his agent was watching the Liverpool game during January and that they were going to get a loan signing from him. And then there was rumours that we were in for him as well, weren't there? So, like later on. And we ended up getting, maybe that was the Sabitzer rumours and they just identified the wrong player. So he's a quality player. Like we were saying it, didn't he? Before he went to Bayern, I think we were saying it like together. We was like saying Gravenberch, quality midfielder. And Ajax were having all sorts of players taken off him, weren't they? Like Mats Raue, Gravenberch, where we obviously came in for Licha and Anthony, so they just got absolutely pillaged for players, which is what they normally happens to them. They develop these players and then they just get them taken off their hands. So I think he's a really quality player. Again, another guy who's suffering, not being able to break into that Kimmich-Goretzka lineup, and not many people are going to break into that when you Bayern Munich. Bayern Munich have got a reputation of certain players are just going to play and you're not going to get in.
Especially German players as well.
Yeah. That's sadly the way it is. It's just, that's how it goes. So, yeah, I think if we can get him for a decent price, why not? I think he'd be a great addition to the squad. But if they're going to want, again, 50, 60 million, you're probably best looking elsewhere because he's not going to be... Does he start over Bruno? Does he start over Casemiro? I don't think he does.
That's the thing.
I don't think he does.
But he could develop into that. That's the thing
but
with
Gravenberch. Is he willing to come sit on another bench?
Yeah, that's it. If he's frustrated now, like
that's what I'm saying.
Yeah, that's the question.
If the Ten Hag pull is that good, where he's like, no, I'm prepared to wait because it's Ten Hag, then maybe that's something we can do. How old is he, Gravenberch?
He's only young, early 20s. I don't know specific. 23, I think.
Right.
Gravenberch.
So. Yeah,
so he's young.
It could be an option. Like but again, it comes down to price, doesn't it? If we can get it for cheap and he wants to come work under Ten Hag and he realizes he's not going to be a starter, then why not? But
he's younger. 20 years old, Sam.
Well, 20. There you go then. So
mega young.
There could be an option there, but again, it depends on what he wants. If he's saying he wants first team football, might not be an option because we're looking for squad depth in the midfield area. I think we need one starter in the 8, which obviously you want De Jong. And then the rest of it, the midfield, I think we need squad players because I don't think Fred's good enough. I don't think McTominay's good enough. We've got youth players in Iqbal and Kobe Mainoo, but obviously they're probably not going to be ready next season. They probably need more seasoning, more loans, etc. So, yeah, I think we need one starter and one sort of backup and stuff like that. And Sabitzer's probably looking the most likely backup, but you never know. Yeah. You never know.
Ten Hag's going to have a reunion party, mate, in the summer. Timber's coming. We're going to have De Jong come in. We're going to have Gravenberch. It's just going to be Ajax, basically. It's going to bring all the ex-Ajax players towards us. Just last bit on Gravenberch. Aaron, yes or no? Would you take him before we touch on the quotes?
I'm a bit torn because as we're talking about him, we're saying about him obviously not playing much and he's still young. I feel like... And I don't want to be this guy that's like Prem proven and that. I'm not asked about that. But I feel like now what we need is players that we know are going to come in and produce because our players off the bench aren't always reliable. You know what I mean? Like Fred, you don't know what you're going to get with him. At McTominay, not good enough. So I feel like if we bring one of them sort of players in, are they going to, you know, you've got that period of, or are they going to adjust? Are they going to recapture form? I feel like we need to, like I say, man, savvy business. I feel like maybe players that might be running out of contract, like a Kante or someone that can come in and do that role, and we know to hit the ground running. Like, and one that I would rather take over Gravenberch, a young centre mid. Do you know Onana from Everton? If they get relegated, mate, I'd be all over that because he is class.
Yeah,
he could be a Casemiro replacement.
I think they bought him for £30 million, didn't they, Onana? So then you're looking at what Everton going to want, and then in the same breath, like you said, yeah, it could be a deal. I'm just looking at Gravenberch, the games he's played. So I saw 17, and I thought, oh, he's actually played quite a bit. Started one of them, minutes per game to win it. So he's literally just been getting cameo performances towards the end of the game. So it must be frustrated for him. But look, the midfield situation is still open. Let's see how that develops in the next couple of months. I've got a couple of quotes from Erik ten Hag I want to get into, and then get your thoughts on it. So we speak about the team and if we've got enough going forward, if there's enough energy, etc. He said, "This is what we expect. This is what we demand. Then you find excuses. If you want to find excuses, you have to look for another club. When the moment is there, you have to contribute, and that is what we demand. Every game is a battle. Every game is a fight, and you have to be ready for the fight. We have a squad, more than 11 starters, so now others are on. And when their time is there, you have to show up and contribute. You have to be ready." On the energy levels, he said, "Yes, but I also see an advantage. More games, so more routines we like to play. That'll give the energy." So I think many advantages, and we want to go for silverware, and we have to give energy if we are to make the season a success. Have we got enough quality to get over the line, do you think? We're talking about drop-offs with Weghorst, Elanga, Maguire coming in. Where's your head at in terms of the ratio now with the competitions that we're still in, Europa League, FA Cup? It feels like they're hanging in the balance at the minute now, doesn't it? Looking at who we're having to draft in for it, especially if we pick up a few more injuries.
I think it's just got into the point now where the amount of games we've played plus a World Cup, we played like a game every 3 days since September, was it November?
Yeah. Since December, and it went to December.
February and March period, it was for 60 days. We had 30. Yeah. 20 games for 60 days. It was, so a game every 3 days.
We've got a thin squad as it is. Don't have the squad depth plus a World Cup. We're the only team who was still in every single competition, and it's catching up to us now, isn't it? Like Ten Hag doesn't like to rotate too much, so we've pretty much played the strongest team possible every single game. Anthony Martial's been not available for most of the season, and we've now lost our best defender. Varane, our second best defender, or like equal first, is also a doubt. Our best left back is a doubt. So our best forward, our highest goal scorer, is injured. Our best youth prospect forward is also injured. So it's just like everything that's going wrong has gone wrong recently because it's all caught up to us. And it's the two things in it. It's scheduling. That's number one. The amount of games you've had to play plus a World Cup right in the middle of the season, and then lack of squad depth and lack of quality squad depth. That's the reasons where we're at, and that's why we're hanging by a thread in all of these competitions at the minute. And most of the blame has to go to the Glazers for not investing and not giving Ten Hag any backing in January, and then the other half has to go to FIFA and the Premier League and all that, who've wanted as much money as possible. So let's cram as many games in as possible. Who gives a shit about the players? And their injuries, they can deal with it. So that's where the blame lies.
Absolutely. Ten Hag touched on Maguire and Lindelof coming in for these games, and he said that decent centre-halves, they've proved in the past, and this season we have 4 or 5 very good centre-halves who can do the job. He's saying they've proved it in the past. Has there ever been performances, maybe with Lindelof there has, I have to agree, but has there ever been performances where you've watched the pair or as individuals and you've gone, actually, they can do a job then, they're all right?
No.
None of him. Not Lindelof either.
Oh, I thought you mean as a pair.
No, either like as a Lindelof or as a Lindelof, as an individual or pair. Have you ever watched their performances and be like, you know what, I don't mind him as a squad player. He can do a job.
I think Lindelof's looked better this season because I think there's been games where he's been next to Varane and Lisandro, and he's looked decent.
Yeah.
I feel like I target him all the time, but I feel like it's the Maguire effect, man. Like, we've seen Lisandro play with Maguire a game, and it's probably the shakiest I've seen Lisandro look. So I don't know if he's like not instilling the other player with confidence. You know what I mean? So they're panicking, or they don't feel as composed because they're next to him. But no, I was going to say that you want the best out of a player. You ain't going to bring him down. You ain't going to tear him down, are you? You're going to encourage him.
Of course, yeah.
Obviously, he's been encouraging Maguire all season, saying good things about him because, like I said in the group chat, there's going to be times where you call upon it, and that time's now. So you don't want a player. It's like Tuchel came out and said about Gravenberch the other day that he's been good in training and his possibility that is part of the future.
Yeah.
So it's
Dangle the carrot in it. Let him know.
That's it, because you need everyone on board for these times now. And you know what? They might come out and surprise us. Yeah. I think probably they're not going to, but I feel like...
Well, Maguire surprised us Thursday night, didn't he, Aaron? Dying.
Just that he actually headed it on target for once.
I know. Yeah, but in the wrong fucking net.
Yeah, but he had no idea. He didn't even know. Like, he didn't fucking know what happened.
So he went off the front of his head. Maybe he should start heading like that. No.
But no, I think, you know what? This is time. If they had anything about him, they would look at this now and think, I'm playing for my United career. This is now, This is like make or break, because one of them, probably both of them, could be gone in the summer, depending on, obviously, new owners, how much money you're going to have to spend, just making room for other players. So they both could be on the chopping board. So now they've got to look at it and think, I've got to grab this by the balls now and actually nail on my United career.
Yeah. Hugo saying, would you take Marco Asensio? Now, I think in the attacking department, it's just my personal opinion. I think we've got too many players. It's very saturated in there. There's a lot of players competing for positions. I know Asensio can kind of float in between attacking positions. He came off of Rodrigo the other day against Chelsea. Looked good, scored a banger of a goal. Is a great squad player, but won't sign him as a starter. Very quick take on that, lads. Asensio, yes or no?
Yeah, we've got other youthful attackers who we could blood into the team.
Garnacho,
Pellistri, Ahmad. You know what I mean? So
he's too predominantly a winger, and we don't need one.
Yeah, I agree. Right, last we're going to touch on again. Keep getting your comments in, lads. We appreciate the support, and smash a like on the video and subscribe to the channel if you're new. Next 5 fixtures, lads. We've got Nottingham Forest away, Sevilla away, Brighton in the FA Cup semi-final, Wembley, Tottenham away, and Aston Villa at home. How many points or wins do we take from them, judging on it now?
I think we beat Forest. I think we'll be all right. Like, Forest have been all over the place, haven't they? And at home, is it?
You say Forest are been?
I know.
Shit.
Forest at home have been bad as well, and it's away where they've been really good, but at home they've been terrible. So I think we can definitely get a win there. And hopefully rub Jesse Lingard's face in it, so that would be nice.
Dean Henderson.
Dean Henderson as well. He can't play against us though, can he? He's on loan. So.
Just sitting on the bench and watching him fucking get slapped.
And then Sevilla, that's a tough game, isn't it? Really tough game because we've got so many people out. Bruno's suspended, so yeah, that's going to be tough. I'm not confident about that at all. And then the Brighton game, Brighton are absolutely flying, smashing teams.
That's tough.
They could well beat us as well. So, yeah, there's a couple of... They're the difficult fixtures. Tottenham, so that could go either way. We could either smash them or they just set up a wall and just sort of try and defend as much as possible and try to break down. And then Villa have been doing really well, haven't they? Villa have been, like, sort of creeping up the table under Unai Emery. I think he's a very good coach, and they've been creeping up into those European places. So that could be a tricky game, and they beat us as well at Old Trafford already. So could be There's just a lot of tricky games there. The other one I'm super confident about is Forest. The other ones could go either way.
All of them sticking points 50-50. Before you give us your predictions, Aaron, a couple of comments I want to think. Hugo saying, how do you super chat? You can click either the $sign, which is at the bottom right corner of your screen, or you could join Brandon, who's just become a Real Red Ultra member, where you get exclusive content every single Monday, head-to-head shows a variety of content. You get a badge next to your name, and you get a chance to feature on the show as well. So if you want to do that, you can click the join button, which is next to the notification bell. Just to let you know before we continue. TS17, as long as we get Champions League next year, I'm not bothered. Feel like we need to. Yeah, it's hard to disagree with that. And saying prioritise just because of circumstance. That's it, lads. We're going to be scraping now. We're going to be absolutely scraping the barrel towards the end of the season. If we can get through this, and if we win another trophy, if Ten Hag does it, he deserves a separate trophy himself. Like, he's done phenomenal. Well, I think we're already overachieving in the circumstances we've been given. So, yeah, with that in mind, Aaron, next 5 fixtures, what do you think?
Well, at the start of the season, I said top 4 and a trophy. I'd be happy. I mean, we've got the trophy. We're in a spot for top 4, so I'd probably agree and mainly focus on that. I feel like definitely one of the cup competitions is going to give, whether it's Sevilla or Brighton. I think
the FA Cup.
Yeah, I feel like one of them is going to go. Sevilla are struggling themselves this season. Was that just we're at Old Trafford, you know what I mean? It's a big night. I feel like we probably could still beat them. But yeah, Brighton's going to be tough, man. Yeah, one of them's going.
Tottenham and Villa?
Spurs, I sat here and on the show about a week ago or something and said, oh yeah, I ain't worried about Spurs and stuff like that. Now I'm pretty worried.
Don't read that name out, Nick, by the way.
Yeah, that would have had me that because I still don't know.
I'll explain it to you later. Don't read the name. Read the question, but don't read the name.
Yeah. Sorry, Aaron, go on.
Yes, Spurs. Like Sam said, it depends what Spurs. Because if we get Spurs that are firing, and we've got Maguire and Lindelof against Harry Kane, I'm pretty worried.
Dead. We are so dead.
And Villa. Emery's a well-organised manager, and in the past, we've struggled against well-organised teams to break down.
So we already lost them, didn't we? Emery's first game.
Yeah, but that kind of was like a new manager bounce, I think, because they were well up for that.
It was.
But I don't think they'll be as on the front foot as they were in that game, because they came out as that game, they were flying. I feel like they might be harder to break down and might be a bit of a scrappy game. And if we ain't got our best 11, depending who we've got on the pitch, we might not break them down. And the thing with United is we don't break a team down after 60 minutes. Bruno starts getting frustrated. Everyone gets frustrated, man. So that could be a banana skin in itself. Our season could be... I don't like reacting too heavy to things, but our season could actually be derailed now for this. And
no, you're right. You are. Sam said the same thing, like towards the end of the review. Last night, he was saying that the season could crumble, could literally crumble. You've got so many variables in each game. You've got relegation, Sevilla away after last night is so difficult. Brighton have been superb this season, like gone up a next level. Spurs, the Champions League clash, the narrative there, and Aston Villa up to 6 at the minute.
And because we're playing like with such high stake, every game now is high stakes. Like we've got top 4. We want to win Europa. We want to win FA Cup. We know Ten Hag wants to win them. So there's pressure on every game. There's no game where you look at it and think Forest is mainly, but we're going to want to bounce
the only
back.
one. Yeah.
But Sunday, we're going to want to prove that, that we're all right without them. Ten Hag's probably going to want to make a statement like, listen, our season is still on track. Because we lose that game on Sunday or we draw and everyone's panicking even more.
Oh, God, yeah. It's going to be a meltdown season, isn't it? You can already see the memes coming out. But we will have a preview tomorrow, guys. If you're still watching for Nottingham Forest, make sure you come and tune in for that. Very interesting. Again, loads of variables to discuss who's going to be in starting 11. Let's see who the lads pick for that. And make sure you come and join us. Turn on your notification bell so you don't miss a thing. Smash a like on the video and subscribe to the channel. What the last question before we've got a comment. I won't say the name because I've been instructed not to. Would you take Iago Aspas from Celta Vigo? Didn't he used to play for Liverpool? Aspas. Am I right in saying that?
Yeah, in the stream now, man.
Yeah.
He was garbage in the Prem.
Yeah. Sorry, no Aspas for us. Sevilla will shit on us. Not going to fucking hope not. I really hope not.
God's sake. It's not what we need. It's not what we need.
No, it's not what we need. But if that does happen in Seville... Yeah, talking about memes, Jesus Christ. If you're new to the channel, subscribe. I don't know if I already mentioned that, but please do. Last question before we head off for the weekend, lads. What would you take, given the circumstances, given that fixture list, not prediction what we would get, what would you take right now looking at that in the circumstance that we're in? And we can maybe reflect on this in a couple of weeks' time.
Top 4.
So a win against Forest.
I take top 4 in Europa League. However that comes, I'm all right.
Yeah.
I'll drop the FA Cup. I don't need the FA Cup. That's fine.
I was going to say to still, after these 5 games, to still be in a trophy, competing for one of them trophies and still be in top 4, I'll be happy with that.
Yeah. Who needs the FA Cup when you got the Bangkok Cup, right? We've got the Bangkok Cup. We've already got a double.
It lights up and everything.
It lights up. It spins. It's like we got the actual trophies that people want. That's all it's about. The Carabao Cup, the Bangkok Cup, and we win the Europa League. There's your treble, top 4. Ten Hag has absolutely smashed it with the circumstances being given. Look, we're heading into the weekend now. I told you guys, we've got the preview tomorrow. We've got the watch along on Sunday. Can we bounce back against a fight in Nottingham Forest? Let's see what happens with that. I'll be live from 3 o'clock. I think kick off 4 on Sunday. So I'll be live from 3 o'clock on TikTok and YouTube. So 3:30, I'll be live for Team News. Come and join me for that. Lads, have a lovely weekend. And people in the chat, lovely weekend.
If you just before we go, Nick was on Stretford Paddock today. They've just released a video for the Nottingham Forest preview. So if you're a fan of our channel and you enjoy that sort of stuff, please do go check it out on Stretford Paddock's channel. Nick, I think it's your first preview on there. You did a watch along, didn't you, previously? So yeah,
I've done a watch along now. First preview with Jay on there, which is absolutely buzzing. Loved it. Yeah,
we'll drop a link. I'll drop a link in the comments for it when this uploads. And yeah, when you go over there, leave a comment. Just let them know Rio Red sent you, just so they know where you've come from. That we'd appreciate that.
Absolutely.
Yeah, please go do that. Shah Sam's in the chat, who's a Rio Reds ultra. Great show, lads. Thank you, mate. Appreciate it. Always, nice
legend. Yeah, and Aaron, thank you for coming on as well, mate. Appreciate it.
Cheers. Make sure everyone get on the preview tomorrow, man, because it's going to be the hardest predicted 11. There's going to be so many different ones, man. Just tune in for that.
Whoever
gets it right,
I don't know.
Whoever gets it right, put the fucking lottery numbers on. That's all we're saying. Take care of yourself, guys. Have a lovely weekend. We'll see you in the preview. Peace.